Good morning. My name is Patrick Bennett. I'm the CEO of TxnLab. I'm here basically as a technical resource later on. As anyone wants to talk deep Algorand contracts and stuff, I'll be here all day. But, pardon? What is TxnLab? TxnLab is basically a development company that we focus exclusively on Algorand. We built NFTs. So basically the naming service for Algorand. Also created the Réti Open Pooling protocol, which is I'll talk in detail about, and then also the Use Wallet library, which is an open source kind of a wallet connector. So basically any Algorand dApp generally is going to use Wallet because it basically lets you connect to every wallet that Algorand supports with a really simple interface. So just by using Use Wallet, you can, basically support every wallet there is really, and then some. So basically, just by using Use Wallet, as new wallets come on board, they just add their extension to Use Wallet, and you update your library, and you're good to go. So I'll start with kind of just a general. Kind of a show of hands as far as, do we have users, builders, interested people? I'm trying to just get a general judge of how many people are like smart contract authors. Just a couple? Okay. So I'll just try to gauge it a little bit and see how deep I kind of go. But the Réti Open Pooling protocol is something that I wanted to create to ensure that, because I knew incentivized staking was coming out, and I knew that as soon as you incentivize staking, there's going to be this mad rush of protocols to try to take advantage of that. So my concern is that you're going to end up having LSTs, liquid staking token protocols, and I didn't want to have like a Lido sort of situation on Algorand. I did not want to have one single staking protocol with billions and billions of dollars potentially of stake, all centralized with that one protocol. And what nodes they run, how they run the nodes, who knows, right? I wanted to ensure that I knew there was going to be different LSTs from different providers. It was kind of a given, but I wanted to make sure that there was a protocol that basically had no fees. The protocol itself has no fees. So anyone can use this, set up their own validator, have people stake to them, and set their own commissions, gating, things like that. And then it can also be used as a building block for other protocols. So I wanted to ensure that by having this open protocol, there would be at least this other way for there to be large sets of stake that automatically enforced a distribution of additional nodes, because each validator is going to be running their own nodes. The law of validators help decentralize the network. So the way Algorand works is when any given account can go online, you just create a participation key on your node, then that key is linked to an Algorand account. So your actual spending keys, in a sense, for your account are never exposed on your node. The key is that that account doesn't have to sign transactions other than just to go online. And then the algo is freely movable. So an Algorand, a smart contract itself, always has its own account. So any smart contract, when you create that application, there's a derived hash from the application ID that defines what account it is. And spending from that account is just any inner transaction from within that smart contract. So the smart contract can issue payment transactions, other calls. That is the act of it signing for itself. So basically, you can have a smart contract participate in consensus simply by having it be able to issue the go online transaction. So the way the Réti pools work is there's a master contract that acts as a factory. And then that master contract basically has box storage, which is a mechanism in Algorand for basically unlimited storage. You can only touch a certain amount at a time. There's some intricacies involved there, but basically the master contract, when you add a validator, it just increments, okay, this is validator 10, and then there's a box storage for validator 10, that's all the configuration information. Then as a part of that, and I'll walk through setting up a validator, you define who the owner of that validator is. And then the contract ensures that only that owner can make those calls on behalf of that validator. And then when you add a pool, then what happens is that factory contract creates a new instance of a pool contract that is literally stored within the validator factory. So as a part of the bootstrapping, and this is completely immutable, it can never be changed. As a part of the bootstrapping, this contract, when it was first bootstrapped on mainnet, the master contract was created, and then in box storage, the bytecode of the staking pool contract was put into it. So when you add a pool to the validator, it actually creates a new instance of a staking pool, of that staking pool contract that's stored within the factory. And so this new staking pool, it has its own unique app ID, and thus its own account. And then so each pool you create is a new Algorand account and new instance of that staking pool contract. And then that staking pool contract combined, with the validator, or kind of have a symbiotic relationship of this validator this master contract created me, and I know that any call from him is trusted. And so they have this mutual trust relationship that also verifies, like when the staking pool is called, it says, hey, I was called by this account. Hey, validator, who's the owner of me? Because you can change some of these properties. And then it'll call the validator, figure that out, and allow the call. And this kind of goes through some of the steps of what happens when you stake. But let's go ahead and kind of go through actually adding a validator. This is the current user interface for Réti. The user interface itself, you can run completely locally if you want. Here I can connect here. You probably can't read that. Yeah, so if I can say pnpm run dev mainnet and connect. So then now I'm connecting to a local instance of the UI, and you'll see it's the same thing as what's at Réti Node.io. The key is that the Réti UI itself, there's no backend at all. It's literally just local Java, it's all just JavaScript, and it's connecting to any Algorand node anywhere in the world. So right now it's configured to talk to Nodely's public nodes, but you could change it to talk to your own local node if you wanted. Because all data it's getting, everything it's fetching directly by just querying an Algorand node and getting boxed. It's actually calling the contracts themselves using Simulate. So with the Algorand, you can, same thing with Ethereum, you can basically make a call to a contract and simulate the execution. And so it's a way of, you're not paying for the call. So basically you can make read-only calls to have the contract itself give you data without you having to crack open the boxes and things like that. So it literally just makes contract calls using Simulate to get the list of validators, get information about the validators, and their pools, things like that. The only thing that doesn't fetch from the node is the status fields. This is information that's provided by Nodely. They collect metrics on Réti pools for things like voting performance and APR calculations based on every block won by the Réti pool. And then so that's factored in. If it's Kiln has 121 million, they have 4 pools, I should say. And if you look, pool 1 has 60 million, pool 2 has 60 million, pool 3 has 265,000. And then the protocol automatically forces a limit per pool based on various protocol constraints. I can get into that a little bit if people are interested. Let me go back to the dashboard here. Let me go ahead and connect to wallet. Let's do dfly. Okay, connected my Patrick.algo account. And then let me check some NFDs here. I'll use this goofy little tiny vault NFD. So let's add a validator. And so again, by validator is basically like, I am a staking provider by saying I'm adding a validator. This is why, I want people to stake to me, so you need to add yourself as a validator. And this is a one-time setup. There's some of these parameters can only be set once and never changed. A couple of them can be changed after the fact, but most of them can't be changed because you would never want a validator to kind of change the rules on you mid-stake. Like for example, the commission. Like if I say I take 5% commission every day, part of the rewards, you wouldn't want that to be changed, because the validator could say, okay, 1 block before the epoch, I'll change commission to 100%. And then right after the epoch, change it back to 5%. And somebody looks at the interface and says, well, it's 5% still, but no, they may have changed it to 100%, taken all of it, and then change it back. So there's certain things that you can't change on purpose. So let me go ahead and I'll just say owner account. Normally, this is just a kind of a dummy for this demonstration. I wouldn't do it this way. Your owner account would be like a ledger, like a hardware wallet. Basically, it should be a cold account. It's something that you would never, shouldn't be something easily compromised. The manager account is something that is specifically needs to be a hot wallet, basically, because the manager account is something that you will configure on each of your nodes. Because the Réti has a node daemon that you run alongside the node that manages all the keys for you, so that there's no security risk per se, nothing for the pool, because all the manager account can do is have the pool go online, and it can also refund stakers, but it can't spend anything. So it has limited controls. So I created a dummy account earlier that's got a few algo in it. So I'll say the manager account is this. Commission account, the commission account is which account receives the rewards. And they talked about this being kind of composable. One of these protocols, if you look here, this tardio.algo, this is, if you look, has a commission of 100%, right? So you would never stake to this normally, but what stakes to it, it's got 678,000 staked to it. But what that really is this no-loss lottery protocol. So the Tardley no-loss lottery has 658,186 staked. You see that is in this Réti pool. But the commission is 100%. So the commission account, if you look, has 109 algo in it right now. So that is, and then the Tardley, it's saying its current reward is 76 because 70, I think they have it so that the winner gets 70%, and the protocol that gets 30%, and they use that for buying back their coin and burning. So that 76.55 is 70% of the current rewards in that pool. So it was set up where they have a contract that creates a reward account, and then then that validator was specifically then, because you can change the commission account after the fact. So they created that protocol, add the validator, created that no-loss lottery contract, created a reward account, and then came in and changed the commission account to what that contract's account is. So then automatically, state that comes into this protocol, into Réti, all rewards, 100%, go to that other protocol's contract account. And then, so then what's cool, it's just automatic and free, basically. And then technically, if people wanted to kind of boost the rewards, in a sense, on that no-loss lottery contract without being a participant, then technically you could come here and just stake into the Réti pool. And then now you boosted the rewards on that, but aren't actually a participant for the raffle. And so it's just their contract, they literally just call the Réti validator and say add stake. Add stake to validator ID number whatever. So as a part of their bootstrapping their contract, they added this validator, and this is validator 41, and they just put in their contract add to validator 41 as a part of the add stake. So when someone adds to the raffle, when you connect and add to the raffle, it just then takes, you send algo into their contract, they then take that algo and directly just send it to Réti and say add stake. And when you unstake, they just say unstake from Réti. So the commission account here, I'll just pick my account. But normally that could be, because you could even have something where the commission account could be something for accounting purposes, you don't want that to necessarily mixed with your main account. You want a specific reward account, because those commissions those are taxable events, right? The minimum entry stake is something for Réti, because the way I designed it so that you can have 200 stakers per pool. And because I wanted to make it so that everything is completely visible, so that you can look at the box storage in Réti and know every single staker, all their balances, everything. So it's you're not having to have some weird back end indexing things. It's not difficult to, like, if you wanted to see, like, okay, who are the stakers in my protocol, you're not having to like call some API or do some indexer search or anything. You can literally just make contract calls and get that list, or read the box. But so the Réti daemon is a command line tool that runs as a daemon, but also is a CLI. So I can basically get the ledger for the NFD pool. I can basically say, give me the list of all the stakers. And so you see how much they've been rewarded ever, how much they currently have staked, reward token balance, things like that. Current rewards available, when the next payout will be in approximately an hour and a half, and so on. And so I can do that for any pool. It's very useful. So, but as a part of me saying that there's a limit of 200 per pool, you have to factor in what's the minimum stake that someone will enter into the pool, right? So you don't want to have it too small, because you don't want someone to come into your pool with like 10 algo, and then now you only have 200 people with 10 algo, and you need at least 30,000 algo to even get rewards, right? But for this simple demo, I'm just going to say 10. Epoch length, I'll just say, here actually I'll say 10 minutes, which normally you wouldn't do. But normally I would say epoch length is how often basically rewards are compounded. Basically it's okay, I've earned these rewards, I need to take those rewards and assign them to all the stakers and take out the commission of the validator. So you don't want that to be too long, because that means stakers have to wait all that time to be able to get their accrued reward, their newly accrued rewards. So if it's a week, you're going a while before you can stake them and get that back out. But if it's too often, when you take that commission, then if it's really frequent, then you're getting a little bit extra, because you're taking that commission more often. But it should be a fraction of a percent. We'll say 5%, and then pools per node. This is almost more like a signal to people of like how you plan to configure things. It's just, the intent is that the protocol is meant to be very, very, very flexible. I'll just say that's 3, and then associated NFD. I think I said tinyvault.algo. and then the green check mark shows up. It has to be an NFD that I own, that the owner owns. And the NFD is basically the way of identifying your validator and providing information about like who you are, or like why you should stake with me, things like that. Because if you go to like NFDs, validator, you see a big kind of bio, and then that's just pulled directly from the NFD. So if you go to validator.nfdomains, then the avatar that you see and bio is just pulled right from the NFD. So at any point in time, you can change that, and it will change in your Réti diagram. So specify that. You can define custom reward tokens with Réti. So you could, if you had your own protocols reward, like your own community token, you can actually have, you can define per epoch, I pay out X amount of my coin. So you can have your Réti pool act almost as a staking pool of your own protocol. And then if you say it's 10,000 of my token per epoch, then that 10,000 is divided across the stakers by their stake percentages. And then that's automatic. So they'd automatically, when they stake, they'd automatically opt in. And when they claim rewards, they also automatically get all their claimed reward tokens as well as whatever algo they've had.
It doesn't say anything about depositing. How are you adding that?
So when I say here, this asset ID, and I want to use it as rewards, then as a part of me adding my first pool, then it will say, okay, send all the tokens, or however many tokens you
Present it later on.
Yeah, so basically later on, once you add the pool, then you have to send the tokens into pool one. Tokens are always distributed from the first pool of your validator. And then you have to keep that topped up. And then entry gating, you can make it so that you could have like, so I think, one validator is gonna have like for their commercial customers, they're gonna make it so that only certain people can join their pool, and they're just gonna have a token. So they're gonna create a custom token that they assign out to their customers, and then they're gonna specify that token is required to join their pool. So you can gate by asset, by creator account. So you could basically say, anyone who holds any asset that this account has created. So you could be an NFT artist and basically say, anyone who owns any of my NFTs, they can join my pool, right? You can say it would be a specific asset ID. It could be any asset created by an NFT and any account linked to that NFT. So you could have like 10 different Algorand accounts linked to an NFT. So like, here's all my collections. And then it'd be any asset created by any of those accounts. You can also say a segment. So if I own, Bennett.algo or something, and I open that up for segments on NFTs, so most people know it, if not, but basically it's a way of saying anyone who creates like a segment or kind of a subdomain of sorts of that NFT, then the root owner gets a majority percentage of that beyond its mint price, and it's a yearly renewal. But you could say anyone who owns a segment of my NFT, then they can join based on that as well. So it's extremely flexible. So let me say add. I think I need here it is. And then there's a 10 algo fee to add a validator, and that just goes directly to the fee sink. So other proposers, whoever that block that just showed up in, someone was very happy because they just got the 9.9 algo block incentive plus half of the fees, which in this case was as a 10 algo fee. They just got an extra 5 algo on that. So it just goes to the protocol basically, but it's just meant to basically avoid spam, right? Someone like just calling this contract, creating tons of validators, and causing issues for the UI. It needs to be a bit of a cost. So the validator's been added. Now I need to add my first pool, and this is what initializes the actual contract. So I'll create the pool. I need to sign that transaction and pay for its minimum balance requirements. Actually, that's next. In this case, the MBR is 5.2. because the box storage is fairly expensive actually. So you had to pay that. And unfortunately, in Algorand, you cannot use boxes as a part of the creation of a contract, which is a little awkward, to be honest. But hopefully that gets fixed. So you basically have to create the contract and then fund it and then call like an initialization method that then creates those boxes. So that was why it was a two-step process. And then I can also, which is really cool, is in NFDs, you can link the contract account of an actual contract to the NFD verifiably because it's a two-stage process. So I could say, oh, this is pool one dot, like, so for the NFDs, it's pool one dot, nfdomains.algo. And so when there's rewards paid out, it's actually coming from that named pool. So you know exactly which pool is paying out and is earning the rewards. I'll skip that for now. So now the pool exists. So now what I'll do is I have this manager account. Let me shell, I've already got a connected node here. And let me move that up in the screen. Yeah, you can see the blocks ticking off here. So this is an active running node. And so I just shelled to a Linux box running on a provider. And if you look, I've got in a home directory, I've got the Réti binary. So it's just a single binary, no other dependencies. And so say Réti-H, and you see, oh, that's the directory, I'm sorry. And then there's tons of different options. You can run it as a daemon, you can query the pools, things like that. And I have this env file that I've created. Let me change the validator ID. This is validator 76. And I say this will be node number 1. Because I need to basically tell the Réti daemon what validator it's for and what node it's for. And then I then have a separate .env.local file in this case that contains the mnemonic for that manager account. And that's why I was saying it's an exposed thing because you have the keys on each node, but it has very, very limited controls. But, so that's why you'd have your your cold wallet would be your owner, the manager would be a hot wallet. So now if let me restart the Réti service and look here. Journal, okay, journal, control, Réti. So I'm just basically following the logs of the Réti protocol. And so it started up. It found the mnemonics for that manager account that I had in that env file. And so it wouldn't work if it says this is validator X. It would check to see who's the manager of that, and it has to have those keys. If it didn't, it wouldn't run. So then it starts up and starts operating instantly. Now, the pool has no balance yet. So there's no keys. So if I go to the address of this pool, it has the 5.2253, which is the MBR. It has a 0 balance, basically. So let me go ahead and add some stake. So if I go back here to this big list, there's the tiny vault as it populates. It's resorting by stake. And then I'll stake to myself. And let's just put 50 algo in. Okay, so the act of there now being a balance in that pool, the Réti daemon will see that here in a second and see that, oh wait, now there's actually a balance there, so now I'll go ahead and create participation keys. So the Réti daemon automatically manages participation keys, sets them up to only last 1 week, which is nice and secure. And then on day 6, it will renew another overlapping key and then switch to that. And then it will manage that across all your pools, all your nodes. And so even if I had another node, like the other day, I moved the NFD pool to a completely different provider. And I did that just in the command line. I said, move pool 1 to node 2. And then I had a different node configured as I'm node number 2. And then it automatically started create a participation key, went online there, and then the other one got offlined. And then it switched. There was maybe a minute or two of, quote, downtime in a sense for the participation key to get generated. So just right here, it says generating participation key for account, participation key generated, and then it called the contract and it's gone online. So if I look at Tiny Vault, I now see my stake, Tiny Vault, balance 50. I go there, and then I go back to this pool, I refresh. You see it now has 50 algo exactly as its available balance, and it should show, it says an application account. I don't see the online state. Let me do this. I thought Allo showed online. Maybe it's lagged. So if I view this account, you see the status is online. So that's an online participating account. And then if I look at the group transactions, you see this was the go online call, where it paid 2 algo, because in order to be incentivized for consensus, you have to pay a 2 algo fee when you go online. And then so the Réti protocol automatically handled that. And then you see the chained calls for that. So it's calling the validator, which then calls the staking pool. And so now it's online and technically will start earning rewards. But actually it won't until it's got 30,000 algo. But notice also that the node daemon even queries which node it's talking to and puts in the pool exactly which version of Algo D is running, as well as the version of the Réti daemon. So you can even query Réti pools and their nodes and see if they're But anyway, lots of cool stuff about Réti. I've gone on way too long. Any questions?